So, hello everyone.
Hello.
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 Hello. Well, so yesterday we had our kickoff of the program, and today is our first open office hours. So I will start by introducing myself again. If you were not with us in the kickoff yesterday, my name is Muafaq. I'm working with a consultancy company in the Netherlands as AI and data engineer. My current client is Nike. My background is in data science and cloud services. I'm certified in most fields. And today we're gonna talk about the program, and you will have the chance to ask any questions that you want directly to me. But first, I need to tell you that if you do wanna be shown in this recorded session, you can turn off your cameras. Of course, I prefer to interact with cameras on, but you are free to do so. Also for voice recording, if you do not want to be your voice to be recorded, please feel free to mute yourself. And along this 30-minute session, you can always feel free to unmute yourself and ask whatever question you want. If it's more convenient for you to send something in the chat, please feel free to do so, but it might take a while for me to finish what I'm saying and go back to the chat. Also, you can direct message me. What else I need to cover? Well, I think that's it. So today you have been assigned to different groups. So in the RIF, which is the platform that we use for you to interact, you will find your teammates. So yesterday, if you were in the kickoff session, the people that you have networked with are not actually your teammates, it's just for networking. But today you should be able to see your teammates' name and start to chat and build that team momentum. So also you have access to the first module informations, and we're gonna cover that briefly, but we're gonna talk about some details about the capstone project overall. So this is the module 1. I'm opening it. So module 1 is AI and leadership. I'm gonna talk in general about it, but like I said, for the capstone project, is gonna be a bit in details, and then feel free to ask whatever question you want. So let's go. For the audience that are not with us, they can always pause the recording and the ref. And when you meet with your teammates, you can also share what I have said and tell them to watch the recording session. It is going to be helpful, especially in starting from module 2 until module 6. Some details are not contained in the course. We are expecting other things. So going back to these recording session will be like your buddy that will help you throughout the assignments. So now I'm gonna start by module 1, AI and leadership. You have a brief introduction, then AI basics. After that is AI and leadership, then followed by AI and big data, AI and your organization. All of these will give you a brief introduction into different aspects. And in here, we are not, we know that most of you are already up in the hierarchy in your own organizations or your own businesses. Most of you are managers, are managing something, but not necessarily in the AI field, or not necessarily, and some learners are not in managerial position or leadership positions. So we need to accommodate everyone on this program. Some people will want more AI specifics and details, and some learners, they need more attention on the leadership aspect. We will try to accommodate everybody, but if you want to deep dive in 1 or 2 or more aspects, you can do that using the capstone project. You need to tackle a very challenging problem that you want to solve, and that will be your space to touch base on more in-depth aspects that you did not find in the course. So in module 1, most of it are introductory level aspect to artificial intelligence and leadership. But with your group, you can deep dive into that, and in the discussions that we prefer to be public in the group so people can opt in and tell us what they think. We can deep dive into them. And this is globally for module 1. But starting for module 2, we will have more in-depth details about several aspects of artificial intelligence and leadership. Now, I think this is clear, but also feel free to ask whatever question about that. The open office hours is mostly for learners to interact with the tutors and the learning facilitators. It's with me. Also, we have another learning facilitator, which is Vish. But Vish, unfortunately, is in Sydney, Australia. He's in a different time zone. So if you are in a closer time zone to him, he can accommodate you in a better way. Otherwise, you will be with me. Now, why I'm telling you a lot of mundane, little bit boring stuff, because we will not cover them in the upcoming office hours beginnings. We will just deep dive into the important stuff. So it will be one-time thing, me telling all of these details. Now, we are expecting you to read all the content before start working on the capstone project. And where is the capstone project? So this program have a final deliverable, which is based on a challenge that you will choose. And it's in 6 different parts. So in each module, you will answer specific questions in writing and put all of that together in the final module. And it will be like a roadmap to you tackling an artificial intelligence and leadership challenge. So if you have the platform open, you can go to weekly capstone project deliverable. And this is what I will be doing during the opening of every, for the rest of every open office hour, is detailing the weekly capstone deliverable. So this week, the assignment, the weekly capstone deliverable, is not graded. It's meant for you to interact with the Rift platform, to interact with your teammates, to know each other. So no stress, no sweat. And this assignment is the easiest one. But it's the most important one, because based on this assignment, you will have a specific business challenge to solve until the rest of the program. So you have easiest assignment, but the most important one. And it goes like this. Each group should start by creating a list of 3 to 5 business challenges that could be solved using AI. So I'm assuming in each group, you will have different individuals and they have different backgrounds. So somebody in healthcare, they will be more prone to suggest an artificial intelligence healthcare challenge. If you are in retail, e-commerce, you will choose something in your industry. Maybe the challenge that you want to solve is in your own industry. So each group have at least 3 individuals, but some groups have 5. And you should all feel free to share the business challenges that you want to solve in your own organization, or in one of your teammate organization. He will be like so motivated. Hey guys, I want to do this. You can of course accommodate him, especially I will suggest voting, but also some challenges are more aligned with the context of this program. So please try to come up with 3 to 5 business challenges that both have artificial intelligence and leadership aspect to them. It's kind of mandatory to do that. Now, I will go back to the weekly capstone deliverable. For the challenges, they can be faced by your own organization, like I said, other organization or fictional organization. If you, in your organization, you are dealing with sensitive data and sensitive subjects, I know some government officials, they are taking the course. Some people from big tech companies, they do not like to share what they have in their organization. Some founders and startuppers also, they are a bit secretive about what they are doing. please feel free not to share any of those aspects. You can choose another organization that you have seen or experienced that you want to deal with. Otherwise, choose a fictional organization. So for me, I started my career working for an investment bank. I usually love challenges that involve financial instruments, but in my personal life, I love politics. And I studied in the US. I was an exchange program. So I graduated as a software engineer, but still studied international relations. I love international politics. So one of the subjects that I talked about in the kickoff is what's going on in the war between Russia and Ukraine. So you do not need to be necessarily a politician to tackle this subject. Many consultancy companies are analyzing the data to provide predictions for banks, for example. It's like, what's going to happen to the economy in Russia? Should I invest in Russia? Of course, many of them were like, no, Russian economy is going to collapse. But for somebody who's interested in politics and working for an investment bank, creating AI models, I know that the Russian economy will not tank. So if I was a learner, for example, and this is not to influence your opinion in any way, but just an example, I will go, hey, let's talk about a fictional organization. Let's create a fictional consultancy company that gives advices on political matters based on the news and the data. But throughout this program, what's going to happen is that you need to cover some data aspects. And then me, when I try to grade your assignments, I would be like, from where did you get that information? And you would be like, I get it from this source. And then I would be like, is that information reliable to build your AI model based on it? And you will try to argument that. The same thing for the Chinese economy. So many YouTubers now and YouTube channels are becoming bigger than major mainstream channels, news channels like on TV. They are saying that the Chinese economy is collapsed. Maybe in the future, we don't know, but you still, as a consultant on fictional consultancy company, you can scrape the data and analyze if your data is liable or not to make future decision and move from that. So in here, I give you a fictional organization about the consultancy company that is involved in politics. I know it's a sensitive subject, so I will try to be as much as politically correct as I can. This is just to scratch your head about the big ideas and opportunities that you can tackle during this 6-week course. So there is no actual limits to the idea that you can come up with. Also, I will be not very politically correct, and I will be like, please do not choose boring subjects. This is an MIT program. It's a tough program. There is a lot of reading. And for grading, I'm also a bit tough. But for that point, I would love to say that you will find, so for example, you have one question in your assignment. And this is one of the things I will only say once during the office hours. And the next office hours, it will be more you talking. This is like the guideline for the rest of the office hours. So you have one question in the capstone project, and we will be like, what do you think about this? And you will give your opinion. And of course, when you give your opinion, as professionals, you need to provide the arguments. Your arguments can be valid, but I need to play the devil's advocate. And I'll be like, but what do you think about this? Even if I share the same opinion as you, I will be like, but how about that? And you will answer, how about that? And I will be like, how about the other thing? So most of you are accomplished professionals, no doubt about that. In this program, you will try to broaden your horizon, and I will be asking some tough questions during your assignments. You'll be like, I'm going to use this AI model. You will use like specific AI model. I will be like, why you are using that AI model, why you are using that platform, why you are using that algorithm, why you are using statistics, why you are using probability. For leadership aspects, you'll be like, hey, in my organization, we are using Agile. I will be like, with methodology of Agile, is it Scrum, is it Kanban, is Scrumban, is it SAFe, is it Prince 1, is it Prince 2, is it DS squared, Is it extreme programming? And every time you answer, I'll be like, but why did you choose that? And you will give arguments why you have chosen that. And I will be saying, but how about that? It's like comparative analysis to everything that you are saying. Now, this is not to make your life hard. Of course, I will not be doing it for every single question. It's just something you will encounter when I'm grading the papers, because this is my third time teaching this course and my fifth time with Esme learning on different courses. And I noticed that many professionals already have great answers. So I need to play the devil advocate most of the time to broaden your horizon about different subjects. Now, what else to say? Let's go back to the rest of the weekly capstone deliverable. Once the list is complete, prioritize the challenges by importance. So let's assume now you have established your 5 business challenges. Now you're going to prioritize the challenges by importance, strategic alignment, ability to promote innovation. And these are the core principles of this program. So please be careful about which business challenge you try to tackle. For me, I will not say, hey, you have chosen the wrong business challenge. But in the next weekly capstone deliverable, you will try to demonstrate why this is a good challenge to solve, because it's going to stick with you for 6 weeks. And for me personally, I work between 60 hours a week to 80 hours a week. So what I usually do when I'm learning, trying to get a certificate, because guys, I'm a learner too, I'm trying to get a new certificate, but from a different company. So I'll share good news with you. Last week, I got the Data Engineering Associate Certificate from Microsoft. Now I'm eyeballing another Google certification. So I'm like you. I'm a learner on different programs, but that's not necessarily with MIT and SB Learning. So what I do, I try to align what I do professionally with my learning process. So in my organization, for now, I'm working with Nike. So I will choose a challenge that is related to retail or e-commerce to gain some time. So I will try my best during this program to come up with some answers and some planning and some strategies to use in my professional work and gain more time. So I will do it nighttime with my teammates, but in the morning, I will have some work have been done on a different, with a different team, but I can use it in my professional setting. That's what I can recommend. Also, for the 30 minutes of the office hours, we can always go above that. But it depends on the audience. If we have a lot of questions, of course, we can answer them to the fullest. If we do not, sometimes 30 minutes will be more than what we need. So now it's been 20 minutes, but that does not mean that we will stop after 30 minutes, but it depends on you. Now I will finish with the assignment. It says then select the challenge that is a top priority to your group. So you can vote, you can choose which individual who wants to lead this initiative. It's up to you. You are professionals. I'm here just to give my feedback. One of the example business challenges is collaborative projects resulting in delays and inefficiencies. I think this is one of the projects that is not easy to tackle because it's a little bit vague. And in an organization, to collect your own employees' data is a sensitive matter. But you should know that our professors, Professor Pentland and Professor Ancona, they are the ones that put the pillars of the program, and we have writers from SB Learning to write the content. For me, I'm facilitating. So not necessarily all what you have seen is something that I did personally. No, but I'm trying to facilitate that content. So I not always 100% agree what is in there, and we can have a conversation about it. You are professionals. We can always disagree what we are actually doing or practicing. So that example, I'm not a big fan of it. For me, I will go like, hey, let's talk about, I don't know, like political subjects, how we can use AI to solve that. And you also familiar with how Donald Trump got elected in the US using Cambridge Analytics. It's a consultancy company. but then it got dismantled after Trump election. So these are very exciting projects to work on. And as an AI leader, you need to take care of a lot of aspects. So you will not get bored and you will not run out of ideas or resources to tackle that kind of project. So by this, I have said my piece and I have set up the guidelines for the rest of the open office hours. And now the floor is yours. You can ask whatever question you want. And you have the freedom also to ask AI questions that are not necessarily related to the program. I'm a geek after all. I would love to have those side conversations. So ladies and gents, the floor is yours. Don't be shy.
When we should propose those ideas today, or are we gonna do it later?
You have the entire week to do so with your teammates, so do not rush it. I have noticed in the previous runs of this program that most teams work on these assignments in the weekend. So the mandatory thing is for all teammates to be on board on some specific time. Of course, sometimes it's not possible, but you need to at least have most of your teammates with you to tackle this challenge. And a heads up notice for individual learners, well, you have more freedom to allocate your time and schedule. But for most assignments, we expect the submission to be, I remember it's Tuesday. Yeah, it should be on Tuesday. So by each Wednesday, I will have open office hours about the next week materials, but I will receive the previous week materials to grade. And you will expect to receive your grades each Wednesday, but usually I finish grade them by Sunday. So this is how it usually works.
So normally, what do you think, by which date we should be ready with these ideas, come up with them?
Okay, I will say take tonight until Friday to read the content. Most of you have a lot of experience, so you can go for 100 pages a day, I'm assuming. So it will take only 2 days or 3 days to read the content. But Saturday and Sunday, you should focus on making the submission, because sometimes you have a teammate that cannot make it. So you will meet as a group and you put most things together, but on Monday, you will have an extra day for you to accommodate one of your teammates and make the submission on Tuesday.
And how do we organize our meetings? We just get in touch in this program and decide when to meet, or how it happens normally?
So you have the rough platform, you should have access by now, and you will have your group. In your group, you will discuss when is the most convenient for you. We try to group people based on their time zone. So most learners, we notice they are from the US. US, you have 2 time zones there. I remember East Coast and West Coast. So you will not find difficulties like for time zones, except when we have like a learner from Australia and the other one maybe from another country is a bit far away, but we try to group them together. So just use Rift to text each other. I also noticed some groups use WhatsApp if it's the app that you are using in your region, but Rift should be sufficient, especially for the success team. Sometimes they will go back to the discussions to try to facilitate and accommodate most people. So if you make those conversations on Rift, we have an overview how communication is going with that team, and the success team can accommodate them.
Our group now is here, or it has some more members, or now it's like 6 or 7 people, as I understand, in this group.
Yeah, so we have more than 50 learners on this program. The open office hours is for everybody. Every week, to understand the assignment, it's better to chime into this meet and ask whatever questions do you want, because it's going to get harder. and the assignment will get taller. And sometimes you will go sideways. So it's better to come and ask the questions that you have. But not necessarily the people in here are from your teammates. At least from every team. Now we have, I think, 13, maybe 14 or 15 in a few days. It's better you have one or two from each team.
Hi. When in the Capstone group in Rift, is there a way to see our Capstone members? Is there a list?
Yeah, sure. So I'll share my screen with you. Okay. Should be able to see my screen. And so I was reading from here. This is what I will focus on in the next open office hours. No more introductions. I know it can be really boring, but we need to do it. September and Town Square. So you will find all explanations about how to use the platform in the orientation module. But let's go through it. So Town Square is for general, and the Town Square is for all learners to communicate and introduce themselves. So most of you have introduced yourselves in here. That's why I know most of you are already accomplished leaders in your organizations, with a few graduated students. But you also in the announcement channel, you will find announcement like the kickoff of the event, the mid-course event, and this open office hours. They always be announced in here by the success team. And your group, which is your capstone groups, will be the following. Like, if you are from group Agent Smith, you should have received an email that says you are part of that group. Also, we have Vish. He's another learning facilitator. He have his own groups, but you can reach out to both of us, no problem. So I have introduced myself in the group. You can also do the same. And in here, you will find your teammates, members, and here we go. These are your teammates. So
Hi.
Yeah, hello.
Sorry for interrupting, but regarding the
okay.
group, I just checked mine and I found that it's only me and facilitator. You and Rachel. It's Ruby group.
Ruby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Yvonne is your success manager. Actually, you are too. There is two of you on this group. Maybe it gets bigger, but maybe you will only stay two learners.
Okay, so
days.
Once we have decided which business challenge that we want to work on, we have to take into consideration the data that we're going to use, right?
Yeah, but during this course, we will guide you in details how you're going to do that. So every week you will have different objectives, and one of the modules we will focus on the data aspect. But of course, when you choose the business challenge, for this week you're going to choose a list of 3 to 5, but next week you will finalize by choosing only one from those. But of course, when you are brainstorming which challenge you want to solve, you need to keep in mind that there is data aspect, regulation aspect, privacy, security, and of course, leadership aspects.
Okay, so open source, is it good to use if we cannot use our data from our organization?
Well, if your organization allows you to use the data, that's a plus for you, but I doubt that. And what usually people will do is opt towards open source data. I would recommend Kaggle. Kaggle is the biggest artificial intelligence data science platform for competitions. You can win $1 million if you win one of the competitions, but it's usually for big prizes is $100,000. So not only you will find the data set, but you will find the artificial intelligence model developed by amateurs. and by amateurs because they are competing in competition, but most of them are very accomplished programmers. So it's up for you to make that choice. And in the next modules, we will cover the data aspects, but it's something great to keep in mind at the beginning, because some challenges, you do not have enough data. So for example, if you want to tackle the challenge of, is life livable on Mars, planet Mars? Well, you need to go ask Elon Musk about the data sets that I have, maybe NASA. So it's one of the challenges that you have shortage of, I'm assuming you have shortage on data on that subject, but I never researched the topic, but it's just an example and to emphasize the point that please keep in mind different aspects. Not only artificial intelligence and leadership are the main aspects, but there are too many more to consider.
Thank you.
Could you share the link of the place where you say that we could find open source data?
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm also gonna share it in the future.
Sure.
I'm gonna actually keep on sharing because this is one of the gems of the internet. This is how most people have built their current AI career, because personally, I did not study artificial intelligence in university. I studied business intelligence and I learned from these sources. So I will keep always sharing. So please always keep asking about these kind of things. Maybe I forget.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
And also, are there any extended dates? Because currently I reside in Florida and we're experiencing hurricane. So there's a possibility that there'll be power outage or some emergency. So just in case someone is unable to meet the deadline.
Okay, great question. Do not worry about these kind of things. You are professional guys. You just send a text to the success team and message them and tell them you have an event that make you unable to submit whatever you're gonna submit. So we are totally chill about this subject. So please do not stress. Focus on your learning experience, and for any other issues, just DM the success team, and they will try to accommodate you in the best possible way. Sometimes, so what the success team, they will reach out to me and they will tell me, okay, that group will have a late submission, and usually I'm okay with that. So please do not worry about these kind of aspects, but try also to be a little bit rigid, because if one or two members of a team cannot meet the deadlines, it will drive down the team a little bit. So it's more of you accommodating your teammates. But for us, we are very understanding about these kind of emergencies.
So a quick question regarding the groups and the group dynamics in general, and since you've been running this for at least 3+ times, right? So on an average, how much would you recommend, or how do you see from a statistical standpoint, like how often do teams meet every week?
From what I have seen, they meet, most of them meet once a week, but what they do is they communicate throughout the week. There will be if the assignment have 4 questions, they will discuss each question. And let's say, for example, you are working in sport industry and your challenge is about sports. So you will be indirectly leading the discussion, and you will be addressing more technical details about sports businesses. So you will be like, oh, I feel more comfortable tackling that question. So throughout the week, you will have a draft answer, and your teammates will do the same about what they feel more comfortable doing. So some managers, they've been managerial positions for 20 years. I have a learner who was 73, I think, a lawyer. He knows the law. The guy knows the law. So of course, for regulations and security and all that stuff, he will be the one on top of the game in that group. So we like to think of it as you are buddies and friends, and you will try to accommodate yourselves in your best possible way. But usually throughout the week, you will build up most of the materials to answer, and you put it all together when you meet, for example, in the weekend.
Cool. Thank you.
My pleasure. Well, I loved all your questions, guys, but please do not be shy. I will wait for a couple of more seconds if somebody change their opinion and want to unmute themselves and ask questions. Otherwise, always feel free to write something in the chat. So let's have more waiting seconds. Well, I'm happy that all of you have a clear vision about what you're going to do this week, but I'm sure next week we're going to have more audience. And the follow-up weeks, we're going to have even more audience, because I know this is like the first week, then things will get a little bit more interesting. But please keep in mind, I want to see some crazy challenges that you want to solve. Please do not do the walk the dog apps and with all due respect for those kind of things. But I want to see like, hey, let's go and conquer the moon. Even though it was already conquered by NASA, also Mars is going to be conquered soon. So please do something really, really cool. It will motivate you, and it will motivate me to comment on your assignment. And thank you for being with us tonight. And for the people who are watching the recording, it would be great to have you in the next office hours. Thank you, guys, and have a great rest of the day. Goodbye.
Just a quick one, sir.
Yeah.
Can you please share your screen? I'm trying to locate the capstone on the Reef Media.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So what you are looking for exactly?
Okay. I was just trying to locate the capstone because it's not showing on my screen.
So on the left side bar, you cannot see capstone.
No, I'm wondering if it's because I've not introduced myself in the other platform.
I don't think that's the issue. What I suggest is,
there's some notes in the chat in the announcements. You have to close out of the RIF and then access it again through the other site through ESME, and then it'll show up.
So in the orientation model, you should find all the details. If you do not find it in the announcement too, that will not be a problem. Just reach out to one of the Success team members. I would suggest Rachel, and she will guide you through it. Sometimes there is some technical issues going on, so it should not be a problem. Just reach out to the Success team, and these kind of things will be solved immediately.
Okay, thank you. I'll reach out to her. Thank you.
My pleasure. So if no questions from you guys, I will wish you a great rest of the day. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.